Just in time for Cinco de Mayo or your next Taco Tuesday, I implore you to try these Baja fish tacos and Mexican street corn salad. The only part of the dish that requires hardly any effort is the fried fish, and honestly, if you made everything else from scratch and air fried some quality fish sticks, the slaw and crema alone might be enough to make it a winner taco dinner. We'll kick things off with our slaw. Grate up a couple of medium carrots on a box grater, and then we're going to chop up about half a head of purple cabbage. You could use Napa or Savoy, whatever floats your boat. Just take off any of those outer leaves that aren't so savory. We're only going to need half a head today, and go ahead and give that a nice fine slice. Just like that. Once that's done, get that into your bowl. It's about 2 cups of cabbage there. We're going to chop up some cilantro. You could use parsley as well. Also, you could certainly buy a bag of slaw mix and just make a dressing, which we're going to make here, but I enjoy the cathartic chopping of cabbage. About 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of mayonnaise goes into a bowl, followed by a couple tablespoons of cider vinegar, a tablespoon of honey for sweetness, and then for some smoky spiciness, about a teaspoon of chipotle powder. Season that up with salt and pepper and give it a mix. As always, the instructions and ingredients will be down below in the description, as well as on the website dishingouteats.com. Once that dressing is mixed, add it to your cabbage and carrot mixture, toss it to combine, and tuck that in the fridge for at least an hour. It'll keep up to a week. Next, we're going to move on to a little crema here, so I'm going to grate 1 garlic clove, or you could use garlic paste, into a bowl, the zest and juice of 1 lime, followed by about 1/2 cup of sour cream. Season that with salt and pepper, and depending on the final consistency you want with this, I like mine to be a little runny. I'm going to add in a tablespoon or 2 of half and half or milk, but if you like it to be nice and thick, go ahead and just leave it as is without the additional dairy. For our esquites, or Mexican street corn salad, we're going to put a couple tablespoons of olive oil into a pan and add in 2 cups of corn. You could also grill 4 or 5 corns on the cob, whatever, and cut the kernels off. That would be delightful as well, but I'm just using good quality frozen corn. I'm going to mince up 1 jalapeno without the seeds while we're waiting on our corn to cook. You want to get some nice charring on it. That's why the grill would be a great method for this, but again, a skillet works just fine. Cook that for 7 to 8 minutes until you get some nice brown color. In addition to our jalapeno, go ahead and give that a nice fine mince. The juice of a lime into a bowl with the jalapeno and cilantro, and a shake of chili powder. Finally, we'll grate in 1 more garlic clove. If you've never had Mexican street corn on the cob, this is basically the same thing, just without the cob. A little salt and pepper to taste, 1/4 cup of mayo, and then some good cotija or queso fresco. Just crumble in about 4 ounces of that. This is basically going to serve as a dressing for our corn salad, so get that nice and thoroughly combined. And then stir in your warm, freshly cooked corn. You can serve this immediately while it's warm, or tuck it in the fridge and serve it chilled. Alright, let's move on to our fish. I've got about 1.5 pounds of cod here. You could use any firm white fish that you prefer. And go ahead and get that cut into about 1-inch strips. We're going to put 1 to 2 on each taco. Now we're going to be deep frying this fish. So we're going to need a dredge or a batter, which is going to start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, a tablespoon of smoked paprika, and for color, a little bit of turmeric. Just about 1 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon there. As always, season with salt and pepper. And we're going to use a IPA or pale ale here. You could use a lager or just whatever beer you have on hand. If you're averse to using beer, just use some seltzer. But add just enough to turn this into a nice thick batter. If there's a few lumps in there, that is alright. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. You don't want to beat all the air out of it. Heat up a pot or pan of oil to 350 degrees, and then working in batches of about 3 to 4 at a time, you're just going to batter your lovely pieces of fish, and then very slowly and gingerly lower them into the hot oil. Want to leave it there for about 5 seconds just to let that crust start to set on the outside, and then float it away. That outer crust is going to be set in about 30 to 60 seconds, so once it is set, you can start to stir them, toss them, and turn them around in the oil. They're going to take about 4 to 5 minutes to cook through and be golden brown, crispy, and delicious. At that stage, you'll want to remove them to a wire rack to rest. and repeat as needed with your additional pieces of fish. Alright, we're going to plate up some of our street corn salad. I did take the liberty of adding a little bit of extra queso fresco or cotija cheese and cilantro. A couple of nice large pieces of fish there. I am quite hungry, I must tell you. A generous portion of our slaw and a drizzle of that garlic and lime crema. A little lime for serving, and we are ready to try this Baja fish taco. That street corn salad is so sweet from the corn, the cheese cuts through all the richness and sweetness. You get that nice heat from the jalapeno. Really, really tasty. It's a great side dish for just about any kind of Latin main. Now, as for this taco, super crispy as you can hear. We're gonna give it a taste. Gotta get everything in that first bite right. Oh man, that slaw is so creamy, so crunchy. Just a delight of all different textures and flavors. I hope you'll give this a try. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and go make something delicious.